All right. It's quite embarrassing. Sorry, you guys. Welcome back to the channel. This is Arts of the Round Table. My name is Mello. I'm going to minimize that. We're going to start taping this thing up. So is the case. I think everything is all set up, and you don't have your. I didn't have my palette cleaned. I didn't have anything ready to go. But we're gonna get it did now. You guys can see me all right. I think that looks good. I'll tape my all right. Okay. Just my mics. Make sure I sound okay. What up, Omer? Brother, you don't sleep? How you doing, man? Oh, my back. Dude, one of the things that I was just laughing at, I thought I had everything ready, and my palette was dirty. So I went to go clean it real quick, and I'm like, oh, it's been dry enough. I should be able to clean it fairly quickly. And gouache's properties is only eternal when you go to clean it. Usually when you're painting, your palette runs dry pretty quickly. All right. But I wanted to get this going because I am actually got an appointment later on today, and I won't be able to. I don't think I'll be able to jump on later, so I might as well do it now. But I hope everybody's doing all right. If you're wondering, this is Bristol board, regular common Strathmore Bristol board. I scanned in the original blue line drawing. And I printed it. And something weird happened when I started prepping the paper. I sprayed it with fixative, and then I put gesso on top. And when I did that, the ink went from gray to green. And I started to get some reds on it when I added gray acrylic with the gesso. Omer, if you're still there, can you give me a thumbs up if my audio's okay? Hi. But yeah, so I'm just gonna prep this paper. I don't know how much I'm gonna draw. Ooh, I want to keep the sword in. I want to paint the sword. I'll work around it. Oh, thank you, brother. Appreciate you. For the mic check, mic check. Omar, I saw your acrylic paintings, brother. I like. Come on, pretty good. Pretty good. Multi-talented. I've been Jones in the paint, man. I've been doing more drawing than I have been lately, and I've been Jones into paint. So now I can get it out of my system. Are you and I guess I should tape it a little lower. Right there. Are you on as we speak? Yeah, and with acrylic, the way it dries is actually not bad. 2 hour painting is not bad. And knocking out a portrait in that amount of time, a tight portrait, I can dig it. I can dig it. Yeah, you on right now? I'll watch that on the site. It was regular paper he was using. I know you guys have been using a lot of the boards. Getting on boards. I think we should be ready. Scooch, scooch. If I can keep the camera like that, be nice and framed. I'm still up for debate on how I wanted to do grayscale for this thing, just to match the aesthetic of the book. But I might do it with some color, and then when I scan it in after to submit it for realsies, I can just remove the color and photopea or something, like desaturate it. Still not sure. This is all Saboteur's fault anyway. Tape, tape, tape. All this setup better be payoff. All of this taping is so unnecessary. I am actually trying to get my friend, an art friend of mine, Julio. I want us to try to get our schedule set up. I think next week might be the best time to get our schedules up because I think He's in Portugal, so the time difference is kind of nuts. I think it's 5 hours time difference ahead from where I am. I'm trying to find that a day that'll work for the both of us, so we can knock some stuff, some painting on together. All right, we look good. Let's make it happen. I don't know how much I would do today on this thing, but we're doing something. Palette. I could always do what I did to that painting I did for Rob Norton. I did the majority of it in black and white. Yeah. So you painted on acrylic paper? Yes. I have some acrylic paper. I have one that I like more than some. One of my first live streams was painting Icarus of the heck is that group called? Anyway, and it looked trash on live, and I blamed it on the paper. Yeah, I feel you, man. And if you've painted, and it has been a while, you're gonna get that Jones, and that's what I was feeling. So I'm glad we wasn't the only one. It had a coating, huh, on the paper. See, the one that I've used, as I digress, I always digress. Ugh. I believe this is breaking stuff. That's acrylic, and this is acrylic. That's acrylic paper. I'm breaking my water bottle. And this is acrylic paper. I drew this, I think a year or two ago, and never had gotten the around to painting it of Link in a mumbling, I think they're called. But I might ask that dude Julio, because he's an amazing painter. The way he sets things up, I might have to ask him one of the best ways to approach it. It's so bland, but I liked this shot of Link, kind of like in his Jean-Claude Van Damme cyborg pose. It always made me laugh. But this paper is the paper I used to draw that Commander Maximum for Rob Norton. I think this one's more textured. Oh, and thank you for the compliment on Crom the Barbarian. This is the printed version. This is the blue line. I gotta work on my background, honestly. We'll see what happens. But I might ask, and if anybody is interested in trying to ink this in that gritty barbarian style, I will send a copy of it. Because I think I did it too clean because I had painting in mind. So I did a lot of the shading really clean because the rendering is going to get lost once you start throwing paint around. And I can do all the rendering that way through the paints. Speaking of, let's get to it. I really don't like this Mars Black, but to dry already. Little massage, little massage. All right, here we go. Get my paints ready. I feel like I'm rushed, but I really do want this to be a chill day. There really is no rush. I already submitted the piece to Kurt Brugel, I believe his name. That is actually not bad. It was paper that was on sale on the Walmart. Shout out to Walmart. Can we get a sponsor of Walmart paper? Small 5. But I do like their paper. I got a bunch of their pads, their drawing pads. 24 sheets. Ooh, is it? Is it? Oh no, this is watercolor. It's probably one of these. Even this has a lot of texture on it. 6 or 7, so I picked them up. Oh heck yeah, man! It looked bigger on screen. Hey. We are dry. I've been really lucky with this white paint that it hasn't turned. I had to throw away my container. I had a container of this of black. Art Nerd says you can't hear me. Sorry, Art Nerd. Is that better at all? Yeah, man, my audio's been trash. I'm gonna reset these real quick. Hopefully that worked. I am a low talker. I'm trying to find a better way. I got 2 mics on me. I got one on my glasses. That's the yeah, Canson's really good. This is the extent of our technological prowess here. But I'll put a mic on my shirt. Hopefully you can hear me a bit better now. Yeah, Canson's pretty good. Where I am, they changed a lot of their brand to that bee inspired. I think they might be moving away from Canson. All right. My pencils. I'm just gonna. What I like to do is I end up creating just kind of my values in a straight line here. And I do this also with my colors. If I'm mixing skin tones using the Zorn palette or anything, I'll try to get all the values of the face from the shading to the highlight all in one wheel or all in one gradiated line. And then I can mix it organically as I go. So I think I might just keep it black and white. I do feel like I want to put some color on this stuff. Maybe some blue. All right, let me just make sure that I am Gucci. Yeah, brother. I think they switched to. I think they switched to the bee inspired, which isn't bad. All right, that sounds fine. And this one sounds fine. think I think the music is just a little jumpy. Okay. All right, art nerd. I don't know what to tell you. I checked my audios. We are bueno. My homie Uber concurs. Turn my headphones up. All right. I'm gonna need some sharp brushes here. You know, I really am unprepared. I wanted to do this, and I should have done all this prepping last night. But it's been pretty weird here. Casa de Mel. A lot of moving parts, a lot of stuff going on. I think I'm going to use this round brush also. Also, I think I just have way too many things open. I'm kind of in a weird spot here. Like, I don't know where to begin. So I think to just get comfortable, I'm going to just start inking this like if it was a regular drawing here. Oh, are you guys getting any of this cold stuff? We had a chill the last couple of days here. Yeah, I think you're right. And again, I think I'm overthinking it because if anything, I could always just, like I said, I was going to saturate it, desaturate it. in Photoshop or something. And if you're careful, you actually can glaze over your gouache. But I've been really digging not doing the first wash with uh with gouache, actually using acrylic. This way that even when you're watery, if I went a little bit more watery with my mix, it wouldn't pull up the wash in the back because acrylic is permanent. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna treat this right. And the gouache will dry lighter. So how you been, man? I kind of like catch. I end up catching a lot of the streams either while they're in full tilt, and I don't get an opportunity to jump in and say what's up. But I definitely end up catching a lot of the replays. I'm just gonna water down this. Scarlet Fever, good morning. How are you? Adjusting my screens because I am missing out on the OBS chat. I'm going in a couple of different places. I got Restream going on for Twitch and YouTube, and I have my OBS going for the vertical stream on YouTube as well. So I apologize if you guys are saying hello and I miss you. He's really round, so I'm going to start using some of these round brushes. I want to go a little lighter. Scarlett, today I'm working on a painting for Crom the Barbarian. And there's a really cool all artist collaboration going on. And I jumped on the bandwagon. So this is Crom. I thought the history of this character was actually pretty cool. The writer, inspired by Robert E. Howard, the creator of Conan, but he also was able to premiere his character in the 50s, 1950s, so before Conan. So he's lauded as potentially the very first sword and sorcery barbarian type comic. So it's anyway, that's a little bit of nerdage. I want to water that. So he's a kick-ass barbarian, and this is for that anthology series. I haven't painted in a couple of weeks, so I've been jonesing for it. And one of the best ways for me, whenever that happens, wherever I take some time off from painting, is jumping in and doing grayscale, because charcoal and graphite is usually my go-to. So this makes me feel right at home. So I just have to deal with values. Oh yeah, yeah. I put myself. I rushed myself yesterday because the deadline to send in the submissions is this Saturday or this Sunday. I would love one. Um, but if it's accepted, then you really have until like April. So I'm trying to calm down. I already sent the rough pencil. I already told Kurt, the guy that's running the event, that I'm planning on painting it. So, and he said he hasn't gotten. I haven't gotten a response from that comment of mine, but he already mentioned about submitting the rough. So, I should be a bit calmer. And I think, yeah, it's been a while since I've done kind of like a show and tell, even with my videos. I don't mind going full spectrum of the shades. Almost says I did some Copic coloring recently too. It's fun. Things are going really good lately. I'm happy, man. That's good. I just hope it stays that way. Yes, absolutely. We'll pray on that. I've been having a lot of fun lately. I've been out of sorts for what feels like, dude. I think you work hard, man, on your channel and your craft. So, and you're on a lot. You might need an Omer day, bro. So, but I'm always you you artists and the people that I meet on these channels and on these streams. I hope I don't get weirded out, but I do. If I recall your name or your gamer tags, how old is that? Your your YouTube handles. I do pray for y'all. I pray for health and calm and peace of mind. So, and my list continues to grow, and I hope y'all don't think that's weird. So, the winter gloom getting to you? Yeah. From Texas. Y'all get the winter gloom from Texas? All right. I think the true test. That's not a bad that's not a bad look of the type of form I'm looking for here. I hear about the gloom. We got hit with some really, that cold front that we got, and that's being kind of like selfish too. My people is up north are buried under snow. My mom is buried under tons of snow, and I hope that there's enough kind people there to help her. Well, I will write an angry letter and post passive aggressively on Facebook. Yeah, right now it's pretty bad. 2 years before we moved down here, we got hit with two snowstorms back to back within a week, and both storms dropped over a foot of snow. There was just no place to put it. All right, I need to sharpen up this right there. One thing I started to experiment with was using a black acrylic over gouache, or black acrylic first, sealing it with the gesso, and then painting over it with gouache, and it works pretty good too. I need a smaller brush. I can start painting his face. I'll use this. It's going to be light from above. And just to show you guys my palette, it is super messy. So all I'm doing is finding in here the value range that I'm looking for, and I'll just go from there. It's a very organic way of painting. It helps me, uh, and because of the way gouache is, you already know you can do layers, you can blend in, you can blend that and the other. Thank you, love. Uh, this one. And if one shade doesn't work, you just go ahead and try a different one. It makes for on the fly experimenting more so if you're doing this, if you're doing grayscale or you're doing a monochrome or you're doing limited palette paintings, kind of like what I've been doing. My last few paintings have been either monochrome or a limited palette, a black and white, and a highlight or an accent color. I really do need a smaller brush. Where are you? No, these are really good. I got a ton of cheap brushes, and I suffer from those. See, that's not wet enough. My room gets dry, and then I'm suffering from either really dry palette, and then I'll spray it, and then it'll be either too wet of a palette. Oh, you're the best. Cue Karate Kid music. Little cafecito. That is hot. I'm actually trying a different approach with this piece here. Usually, I'll do a full wash over the drawing and kind of build up the values from out of the full wash. But I wanted to see if this approach would be something that'll appeal to me. I kind of like the sketchy, and I wanted this to be really rough, just to match the aesthetic of what the anthologies may or may not look like. I don't have it. I'm not privy to any other design, but looking at images from the previous one is basically rock and roll heavy metal. So I didn't want this to be clean. And considering how kind of rusty I am and how this may be the biggest piece I've done since my Rhino and my Hulk pieces, I figure why not? I appreciate that. Omar, you just finished your cup of Joe a bit ago. Yeah, man. You're gonna have. I'm gonna have to do a. Maybe we can schedule a coffee and lead together. I'll send you an invite and we'll just draw something. And we won't even draw. We'll just some coffee and look at pencils. Uh, drawing while talking. How are you? Uh, yeah, I wasn't planning on coming in and streaming today because I do have an appointment later on this afternoon. But sometimes that happens. You get all excited about a current piece, and I put myself under an unnecessary deadline, but I still want to get this done. I've been having a lot of issues with completionism, setting things up to finish later, and it's been kind of like messing with my productivity and my head, and just psychologically, it wasn't feeling very good. So you got to strike while the iron is hot. So that's what today is. Appreciate that. Denka3110 says hello. Hello back. Scarlet Fever's having a cup of Joe. Yeah, that's what today is for. No coffee and lead, coffee and paint. Omer says sounds like a plan. Oh, heck yeah, man. So drawing while talking, like the background, you guys. Yes. So yesterday you only saw me finish the figure. I added the wall in the background after the fact. You can see that. And I don't know if I even like it. I had to look at a ton of reference to try to get it. He looks like he just walked out of the bathroom. so, uh, but that made me laugh too. Such a serious piece, serious looking face, and it looks like he just walked out of the. I was gonna put a men's room sign and behind him, like you know, not go in there for at least 20, 40 minutes. I don't know what he sounds like, so I always finish. Yeah, man. Your cup of coffee always finish first. Yeah, but speaking of the background, I didn't want to do too much. I just wanted enough of an idea, light behind them, kind of messy around the borders. So I just wanted the feel, not so much the look. And if you're doing stuff like this and you're cribbing from multiple, do they have a sword rack in the bathroom? They should. That'd be hilarious. Aesthetically, it has to match. That is funny. That's right. Oh, he's looking at the line and he wants to cut. No dweebs in ladies' room. He's like Norse like. I'm getting some Fabio vibes. Wasn't he? I can't remember the game. Fabio was a model for one of the games. One of the games. It wasn't Dungeons and Dragons. I know that for sure. No, I'm gonna have to Google it. Yeah, I remember when Fabio got wrecked. He was in a at an amusement park on a roller coaster ride and got hit in the face by a goose. Am I the only one that remembers Fabio getting duck goosed? I can't put too much shading in his hair because he's blonde. All right. It might be too dark on the spectrum, so I might have to start lighting that up. I think where we at is pretty good. I need smaller brushes. Ah, thank you, TwitchBot. Just give it up to the TwitchBot. Appreciate you. Out of all the bots, you are my favorite. I was hoping that in the drawing that I was trying to have him look, his head being look upward. I don't think I pulled it off, but that's okay. And the light is this way. So, drawing while talking, I don't know if you was able to if you were here when I showed the palette. So all I did was mix in black and white, and I'm just going to town. I mixed it all together, and what I'm doing is organically looking for the shades that I want while I draw the face, or when I'm as I draw the figure. It gives it a more organic look because it doesn't allow for the same colors. I know that may sound counterproductive, but it gives it gives you the ability to layer on top. And because gouache dries lighter and it will blend and pick up colors from underneath, you can get some amazing variations without really trying. Because a lot of it is, and in this form, the way that I do it is very experimental. I'm just kind of going with for the gist, for the feel, and at first I'm going for the gist and the feel, and then later on it does turn into kind of like intent and gets a little tighter. The process and the painting process, unless you're using reference for your artwork, then that's a little bit different. I think whenever I use reference for my paintings, if I'm trying to match the reference exactly, then I'm only focusing on trying to get as close to the color as possible. And I'm just looking at the shapes, a shape that I'm trying to match, or a tone that I'm trying to match, or I hope if any of that makes sense. And it allows for some really cool spontaneous blending. Nothing ever looks too smooth, too too smooth. And if you're a sketchy artist, like I'm kind of a sketchy artist, this scratches that itch as well. 'Cause you can sit here and you could noodle it to death and have it work against you, but I think with practice, like everything, you can end up controlling the chaos a bit. Like right here, this brush is basically kind of dry, but I still have a lighter tone to it. One of the higher lightest colors, and just going over it lightly, going over the previous layers, the dark layers, it's actually smoothing out and creating variances, which is what I want on his skin. Crom don't moisturize. And now I'll put it up against the screen in a moment. Problem is, my house, this room of mine, is really dry. It's really dry, so the gouache on my palette is drying, even on this glass. All right, that's too light. If I can organically grab a darker shade, not the highest, not the darkest, but a darker, and work on forming. Yeah. Yeah. I'm gonna let it dry the face because you can keep noodling it and then it'll just get muddy. But I want to start having some sharper highlights or sharper shadows, and the best way to do that is letting the layer dry so that it can sit on top. But it has kind of that Steve Rude uh, blenderly look. Yeah, I'm gonna put it up close to the camera so you guys can take a peek. I mean, it looks pretty good. I have my windows behind me open. My blinds are open, so my blinds are open. Let me see so I can. You can already see some shading and variation, and it looks smooth. I will go over the chin again to match the smoothness of the face of the rest of the face. But once I start adding highlights to it and some more variations in the shadows, that face is gonna pop. Which means I'll have to. That is not bad. It looks like the same person. Put that right there. Well, my room is dry as it is, or sucking up all the moisture in here. It's still a little tacky around the face. Play my brush. I'm one thing I like to do when I work on the face like that. I'm gonna put the whites of his eyes just so that for focus. And I could put a dollop right here, even though I'm gonna keep working on it. But this will give you an idea of the form of the face and the expression. Even though I got a lot to go, I know most artists will say don't do too much on one spot. I am not that artist. That's the highest highlight. That's all I need for my reference. Bam. And again, it's gonna dry darker. And then a speckle here. All right, let's start working downward. I'm gonna grab some dark for the neck. Yeah, I might end up doing several live sessions of this. Just hang out with you guys throughout the week. I may be on tomorrow. I gotta take my son to work tomorrow, so Oh, gravy. I think the safest thing I can do is work in sections. Sorry for all the quiet painting. It's just kind of like just get into it, I guess. He's gonna look like granite. I'll take it. Doing a bit of on the paint blending. On the paint, on the page, on the canvas paint blending. Um, a little lighter. Usually with gouache, I tend to wait for the very last layers or so for the pure black. For the highest of contrast. I know that what I'm going to end up losing really quick, I'm going to end up losing him into the background until I figure out which shade I'm going to do. This might be just pure white, like a light illuminating behind him. Maybe it'll go through the cracks on the stones. I'm gonna need more light on his face. And I think this matches too much. That's not too bad. I really, I really did want to give him the impression like his head was tilted upwards. I may be able to salvage that impression with the paint, but I don't think so. So I think I might just take the L. Kinda, I guess. All right. Before I start getting that all muddy, I'll just keep moving. I won't be able to do a white background if his hair, because he's blonde. The only way I can simulate light hair is with white. We'll see. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. Yeah, I think that if I was to do a bright background, the coloring, his coloring, wouldn't work because then he would have to be all the shading would have to be center of his body. So maybe not too bright. The lighting, not myself, but that too. Well, we're gonna have to experiment because his blade is gonna have to be stand out. I could do the opposite: black, dark background, mid, and then him being dominant. We'll see. Like I said, this is going to be experimental. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start getting my values in a little bit better because I think this is gonna work. So, uh, and treat it like a drawing. I guess that would be the one of the down the cons of doing just grayscale if you can't change the values or paint different texture. Won't on me. So let's see what we can do anyway. That's going to be lighter, so I don't want to use this one just yet. I lost some of my lines. I'm gonna have to go back and take a peek at my own drawing here. But if it looks okay, I'm gonna keep it. It's one of the benefits of scanning in your work. Uh, I did a Swamp Thing painting several months ago, and I scanned it in before I painted it. I painted over the original, so I used the scanned in version to keep an eye on where my lines were. I'm gonna have to do the same for this one. I appreciate you, Omar. You have a fantastic rest of your day. What's today? Wednesday. So it's hump day with friends. Is that right? I'll try to catch up. I'll try to jump on and say what's up. But yeah, you have a fantastic day, brother. Talk to you soon. And look out for the invite for some coffee and lead one day. We'll get our schedules together. Peace. See you soon, bro. my my art bud Julio, I gotta send him a text today so we can iron out our days. He has a fantastic way of painting with gouache in layers and in washes, and it looks so good. I think that I have a more of a heavy-handed approach. I think there was one here. I can't see my ab lines anymore. uh, yeah, you was reading a Hulk comic yesterday. Says drawing while talking, inspired by. I appreciate that. Inspired by my Hulk piece, and they had something called Man Thing that was exactly like Swamp Thing. The blatant ripoffs between the two bigs are astounding. Yes. And Man Thing has such a interesting design. Just like a giant anteater. His, and I think his um, power set is more mystical. So I think that if you are, depending on your the person's character, if he touches you, you burn. I think I'm not sure. I may be making that up. I wasn't too much of a fan of either. I remember seeing Swamp Thing more growing up because the Wes Craven movie they used to play on Saturday mornings on a Creature Double Feature. But I didn't get to see much of Swamp Thing. Man Thing, sorry. And then Marvel tried to kind of shoehorn him in the vampire. Oh my God, I can't speak this morning. In the Werewolf by Night show that they had last year, another one of their forget it even happened type of show, and they just basically obscured him in shadow and made passing of what his abilities were. But yeah, there's been tons of channels and articles about the similarities in some characters. A lot of characters. Uh, Swamp Thing and Man Thing being one, Thanos and Darkseid being another. Sorry. I've been painting too much. My coffee's getting cold. All right, let's see if I can. I'm going to use. Excuse me. The Brave and the Mold. That is that is a great title. Swamp Thing and Batman. I'm going to use my round brushes for muses. That is actually really good. Okay, so I'm going to have to re-moisten my palette. That is a really good title. That messed me up. The Brave and the Mold. I have been slacking on my art comic collecting. It picked up a little bit during COVID, but that was because I was watching a lot of cartoonist kayfabe, and I was picking up a lot of artist editions that they were reviewing, or some books I was able to get my hands on because of them. So lately, all I've been able to get is stuff from my local Ollie's, get them at discount. I may not need that small one right now. So now that I'm painting some of the bigger forms, his chest, his biceps, I'm not really thinking of the muscles themselves. What I'm looking at him is the spherical shapes. So I'm painting him with that in mind. I'm not really shooting for anatomical correctness. The dude is huge, so and using this I think it's the filbert. Is that a filbert? The round brush allows you to organically create those round shapes. Same way I did the Hulk's shoulder muscles and his the majority of the muscle structure on that Hulk painting. I used these brushes. They allow for interesting blending and organically round shapes. Get some light in there. And like I mentioned, I don't mind going through three different versions of the gradient, a mid-tone, dark, and light, just because of the way gouache blends and dries upon itself. And that allows for some really cool blending later on. Organic style blending. If only my paints wouldn't be so dry. But not too shabby, I think. Once I add the super duper highlight and the super duper darks, it's too wet. drawing while talking. That idea that you shared for what your plans were for your videos for reviews and redoing covers was so it's actually a really good idea. And the first one you shared also with the Vader would actually be really cool to see. What are we up to here? 90 minutes, give or take. Maybe I'll try to line up this pectoral, finish this piece up here, and then I'll probably call that for the morning. It's not a bad start. Little dry brush, dibble dabble. That's the technical term. Dry brush, dibble dabble. I'm going to be doing a lot of that to get the some texture. I got to lose that line here. I don't like that. So I'm going to change that. It stands out too much. Oh, I bet. I'm trying to think. I'm currently using CapCut for my editing, which is not bad. I don't know how well it'll work on an iPad, but the software looks like it was built for mobile and tablets, so it might be more more productive for you than it is for me. But everything is just so memory extensive, so I understand. Yeah, he's gonna look like granite. I think for this to have looked more realistic, I would have had to go lighter, which I may still be able to do so. Build up to light to make it look flesh tone, because right now it just looks like a man made out of granite. LumaVision. Okay. There are so many resources that we can use as creators to put our stuff out there. I like that kind of effect. Try to save that. I think the round brush. I don't enjoy editing at all. Um, More so now that I started doing live streams. When I wasn't doing the live streams, the editing became necessary, and I had more time and can really think about what I wanted to do. And but even still, you can see my videos aren't. They're not going to win any awards for editing. It's time lapse. It's cross dissolve to the next shot. So I tried to focus on what I was saying and let the painting or the drawing speak for itself. But no, I did not enjoy editing. So what I've been doing lately is I'll take a video of this, which I didn't do today. Go figure. And I'll just time lapse it, put some music on it, and post it. But it is tedious, and I mean, it does help. It does help get used to talking. I There was only few drawings that when I drew them, I had something in mind to say. My last few were very personal, so I knew what I wanted to do as I was painting them. At first, I was drawing something and then kind of like in the marble method, finding a through line through the art piece to make sense. And then I would speak on that. And I was hoping to include as much about the art and the creators as possible. I thought that was an interesting way to go, and it gave me something to say. So, but like what became the thing that was making me slow down in terms of editing is what people began to enjoy about my channel. But because of doing live streams, I enjoy how fluid the conversations can be with people on the chat. And I don't have to worry about a storyline. I don't have to worry about anything like that. I could just speak freely and enjoy the virtual company. Now, if I would do want to do another narrative video, but I really wanted to. Now I'm putting a pressure on myself to make sure that it's something worth doing. You wanted to do live? Oh yeah, you want to do live? Yeah, YouTube does have restrictions about sub counts before you can do live. Is it 500? Is that the? I can't remember. I think it's 500. I learned that you can't talk while drawing. It is weird, because if you're like me, you don't necessarily talk to yourself while you're drawing without the camera. My So one of the things I did to test myself was like I said, the swamp thing. I was mimicking a live stream as best I could, so I was doing a lot of talking and trying to imagine where the camera would be and all that stuff, and that really helped. But I did wait a long time. I earlier on I did live streams in the beginning of when I redid my channel. Uh, and I would just put music. I didn't have an audience then at all, so that made it easy. But you're right. If you're going to be doing voiceovers, you do need editing. I am killing this bicep. Yeah, that whole piece was the most personal, and I drew it very early on. I drew it while I was going through what I was going through, but I didn't do the narration until after. I really couldn't. But see now, because it was so personal, now I'm like, well, what can you possibly talk about now? And I can't think that way. It'll stunt the creative process. And I don't want that the only time I do a video is to focus on a real world or a personal event, because it really is about art, but it's also about having a safe place here. It's a true story. While I was before that Hulk video was scheduled, I had it uploaded and scheduled to come out in January. I had finished it months ahead of time, and well, a month or so ahead of time. And I was listening to it again one more time while I drove. I was driving to pick up my son, pick him up from work, and so I was listening to the playback of it just to make sure if I had time to make any final adjustments, I could have removed it from YouTube, and I still had the raw file, so I can whatever. So I had it playing in my car. I wasn't watching, I was just listening. And I almost crashed. I almost crashed my car. It was raining a bit, and my car just taking a gentle right turn into the highway entrance. It hydroplaned. So I came feet away from hitting the right guardrail and then the left guardrail. Yeah, yeah. So that was fun. So I knew it was going to be good. I knew it was going to be good. All right. I'm going to stop noodling because I'm going to add black that to that. Oh, yeah. So, and in, I live in Florida. So whenever something like that happens, also, swerve to my right, swerve to the left, um, missed both guardrails. I missed the second guardrail. The second guardrail on the left hand side of the entrance to the highway was it was going to T-bone the passenger side of my car. I was by myself at the time, and I accepted the fate. I said, "Oh, there we go. I got no control. My car is parallel. right? So I was at 90 degrees looking directly towards the guardrail over there through the window of the passenger side. And my front tires finally gripped onto some gravel and some grass. And it just took control. And I started heading towards the ditch on the left side of the highway. And I couldn't have been happier. the the relief the relief that I had that I was heading towards a swampy ditch. Oh, it was fantastic. No damage, no hurt. I was fine. No damage to the car except for some just grass that I still find on the carriage. But I just thought it was so funny that as soon as I felt some type of traction and saw that I was heading towards grass instead of the metal guardrails. Thank you. Thank you, Jesus. Oh, brother. Yeah. You know, I got to check the dates. I think I painted that swamp thing. Either I was painting it before or I have to check my dates. But yes, coincidentally, I was drawing the swamp thing. Because of course. So that was fun. This might end up coming out really dark. Maybe the grayscale wasn't the way to go, but lucky for me, I still have the original. And if I have to, I can redo it. Maybe I could just redo it in black ink. But this is very early, so this is kind of like entering the ugly stage. And it's super undone. I got so much to go. But I think that's a good start. I'm actually going to call it. Drawing while talking. I appreciate you. Omar, I appreciate you for swinging through earlier. Scarlet Fever, Art Nerd, thank you guys for coming through. And I will be back tomorrow at some time. Once I get my schedule, I'll either post it today or tomorrow morning. But I do appreciate you guys hanging out. Let's give it some underlighting here, just a smidge. I also have to remind myself that it's okay to be a little bit loose now because there's so many layers to go. That and the way gouache works is that I can cover up or enhance anything I want here. So everything, including the ugly stage, is a work in progress. So, and I encourage you guys. That doesn't look too bad. Thank you, drawing. Appreciate that. What is that? Griever Enterprise. Hey yo, how you doing, man? I am actually signing off. So, but I still appreciate you swinging through. I'll tell you real quick of what I'm working on before I take a dip. If you guys get an opportunity, make sure you hit the like, leave a comment, share, subscribe if you haven't already. This is all gray. This is the palette. It could just be the way my lighting is, but it's just black and white mixed in. But the black color in gouache, I know for Hemi, for the Hemi brand, black has a little blue in it, so I can see where you might be getting that violet color. Also, there's some green because of the way the fixative and the gesso mixed with this paper. So, color theory wise, the green will probably make that bluish gray look purple. But no, that is all just grayscale. Just looks like a man of granite. But yeah, this is for an art submission that I'm doing for Crom, the Barbarian. It's an anthology series, a artist call out collaboration, and I am trying to put that stuff in there. Yes, yes. So just black, white, gouache mixed in, and not too bad. It's gonna look like a stone tablet, which I don't mind. I'm gonna have to start working a little bit more with highlights, just to give them that dimensionality. I am pushing a lot of the midtones here. As you can see, my palette just got a little bit muddy and dirty. And I like working with gouache that way. And I like working with gouache this way, where I have all the colors I can mix together. It makes for a very organic way of painting. And I'm just picking and choosing just from the look of it to put on the paper. It may muddy up the drawing, but it does allow for, like I said, very experimental, very progressive, very feel like painting. Where I go, oh, that might be too dark, that might be too light. Let me see what's in here that'll mix and match. And the way that gouache dries, it does dry lighter, it does blend. Like here up in his face, I did use already white, and it's already dried into a gray tone. So, and what's cool later on, I can actually grab some flesh tones and sneak them in there, or add some blues in it, or greens, or any other type of color. And all of a sudden, your eyes will adjust. And because of the color theory and all of those things, it'll come to life. But that is it, you guys, gals. I appreciate your time. I'm gonna leave this as is. I gotta start getting ready for some appointments and some errands. I really appreciate you. God bless you all. I'll see you on the next one. I'll be on tomorrow. I'll send out an invite, a schedule, and we'll try to get her did. But that is it. That's my Crom, the Barbarian. I'm curious. I might have to start working on the sword just so he can stand out. I might start doing some of that. I might start taking notes of what to do just so that he can pop out. Or just finish on him. Either way, appreciate your time. You guys have a fantastic rest of your day. Let the music play us out.